Y254. Imagine.
Welcome to the POWERTalk show with me, Dominic George. It's another Wednesday, and I hope you're doing well and that you're blessed and you're keeping all right. So go to our social media pages, Y254. You can see them right at the bottom of your screen. You can also go to my own social media pages, the Facebook and Twitter and Instagram at I am Kama Mwangi. And then we have a hashtag today, because we are talking to Kenya Films and Classification Board Communications Manager. We have a hashtag KFCB on Y254. So you can, if you're on Twitter, you can actually get that hashtag and tweet and let us know where you are watching from. So KCB on Y254 TV, KFCB at Y254 TV. And as I said today, we're having that communication, we're having the communication manager, and we are talking about KFCB. Do they police or do they guard morals? But before we go to that conversation, I want to first of all applaud all the Class 8 pupils who have done so well. We had more than 1,000, actually 2,000 young people since last year to this year who went into the 400 mark point. And then we have more than 20,000 who actually moved from 2017 to 2018 to the 300 marks gap, if you could say. So I want to congratulate all of you that did so well and performed so well and had great marks. I want to congratulate you for doing a great job, to the teachers and also to the TSC who marked. But at the same time, I have been seeing some memes that, you know, our cousin got 92 marks. Tunangoja alale tuhame, all right? So for those who didn't do so well, you know, there's always another chance. And this brings me to the question of, you know, everybody who got either 92 marks or the ones who got 430 marks, they are all going to secondary school. And someone was asking the question, is that a nice way to teach young people that however you perform, you can move on to the next level? Or are we teaching young people there are no consequences of not doing well, or there is no point of performing well? I don't know, maybe there's a conversation for another day. But today I want you to tweet. I want you to talk to us, your suggestions, your opinion, your questions. As I said, we are on KFCB on Y254 TV. We are having that conversation today with Nelly Muluka. She is the Corporate Communications Manager at KFCB. Talk to us. But for now, I'm going to give it to at Africa Kenya, who are going to entertain us. And when we come back, it's going to be hot. Let's go.
Come. One more time. Say Mungu Baba yeye hafungi macho. Habadiliki jana leo na kesho. Azijua raha na shida zako. Oh, all right, so we're going to stand there. So let's stand all of us one more time. So you just clap your hands like me, yeah? We clap your hands with me. Clap your hands with me. One more time, just clap your hands with me. Clap your hands with me. All right. So we go like this, eh? Dumbolo, you go, eh? Dumbolo, yeah, solo man. Dumbolo, aye. All right. Umeshika hiyo. Twende. Dombolo. Hadi. Haya, umeshika hiyo. One more time. Twende. One more, you go. Wewe, una dombolo. Mara ya mwisho, twende, go. Dombolo. Haya, ona hii, unaweza tizi. Mambo vipi? Fresh. Sister vipi? Unataka tu fresh. Udi fresh. Juu niko na Yesu. Fresh, oya. Sambo vipi? Sister vipi? Tripi. Juu niko na Yesu. Umeshika. Mambo vipi? Sister vipi? Brother vipi? Ati jalini tuniko tona. Mambo vipi? Sister vipi? Mambo vipi? Aya mwisho ona. Ati shaku. Gwara. Unajua singo? Unaenda. One more time. Let's go. Gwara. One more time. Done. Aya shaku peke yake. 1, 2. Like that. Nice one. Naona kuna watu wanaielewa. Tena. Go. Hapa kuna mtu anaelewa. Aya tuimbe pamoja Mungu Baba yeye hafungi macho. Habadiliki jana leo. Azijua na shida zako.
Thank you. That was South African. That's so much fun. Oh, you should be doing that, Masanga, every single Wednesday.
Yes.
Yes, sir. All right, so guys, as I told you, we are having an amazing audience here. And as I mentioned to you, we're having Nelly Muluka, who is the Corporate Communications Manager at KFCB, Kenya Films Corporations Board. Sometimes classification board. And you know, sometimes there have been a bit of especially in media, bit of fights to and fro, especially between the CEO Ezekiel Mutua. And so the Corporate Communications Manager is here to tell us what KFCB does and to clear some of the questions that we have about KFCB. Are they policing our morals? Are they guarding our morals? What are they doing? Are they banning creativity? And are they encouraging creativity or not? And so, as I told you, please go to our social media presence where we are. And Y254, it's all Y254. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, it's all Y254. You can also go to my own social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. It's also I am Kamau Mwangi. And also remember, we've got a hashtag KFCB on Y254 TV. So tweet your suggestions, opinion, and questions, and we keep these conversations going. All right, so Nelly Muluka, welcome to the show.
Asante.
Today it's gonna be fire.
Really?
Yeah, the fire, good fire though.
Okay.
Oh, good fire, like the one of the Holy Spirit. All right, so welcome.
Thank you.
Now, KFCB.
Yes.
You know, for many of us, KFCB is Ezekiel Mutua, and Ezekiel Mutua is KFCB, Dr. Ezekiel Mutua. But probably you could help us to understand, first of all, who or what is KFCB?
Okay, thank you very much for inviting me on this show on behalf of KFCB, because first of all, the fact that I'm here, and it is not the CEO, Dr. Ezekiel Mutua, it shows that KFCB is not Dr. Mutua, and that Dr. Mutua is KFCB. But it's important to know that in every institution, there's a hierarchy. He's our spokesperson, and therefore, whatever he speaks, he does it on behalf of the board, and we are all behind him. And every action is our collective action actually, but we can't all come and tell it. That's why he says it on our behalf. Otherwise, KFCB, if you don't understand who KFCB is and what they do, then you look at KFCB as that organization whose duty is to ban. In fact, the word banning does not even exist in our vocabulary.
That's quite interesting for many viewers, I am sure,
Well,
because sometimes that's what tends to be amplified is KFCB banning a movie or banning a song, or banning a something that is related to
okay,
film
so who is
or advert.
KFCB?
Yes,
KFCB
exactly.
is a state organization. It's a state agency, the Ministry of Information, Communications and Technology. KFCB has been here for a very long time. We are mandated. And first of all, it's important to know that KFCB was enacted by an act of parliament. And KFCB is mandated by the Films and the Stage Plays Acts to regulate film and broadcast content at different levels. So I've said films and broadcast content.
Yes.
That is, we regulate right from the creation up to exhibition. So at 5 different levels: the creation, the broadcasting, the distribution, possession, and even exhibition. So we regulate all that, and we don't just do it for fun. We do it with the intention of, or rather the aim, the end result is that we should give age appropriateness, so that if you can see when we have the general exhibition, parental guidance, 16, 18, we do all that so that as we give the age appropriateness,
the rating,
after examining and classifying, then you will know what program the broadcasters know when to broadcast what, and so on. And why do we do it? We do it, one, to promote our culture; secondly, to promote our national aspirations; but above all, to protect children against exposure to adult content, harmful content, and even to give the adults an opportunity to watch what is adult stuff, yet protecting children, including their own children, against exposure to harmful content. That is CAP 222. And then the programming code, it also mandates KFCB to enforce the watershed period. That is the period between 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. when whatever is exhibited should actually be suitable for general exhibition, family viewing, and parental guidance, and as we move on, 16. But when it comes to the idea of restriction, we just restrict. There's a scientific method which we use for when we get the material, because the law says that everything that goes, be it infomercial, commercial, broadcast content, film content, has to be submitted to KFCB for examination and classification, as I've said, for age appropriateness. And that shows whichever time it can be shown. So after it's been given, we have a group of people, experts. I'm not even an expert in that. I'm a communicator. That's why I'm here. Dr. Ezekiel Mutua is an administrator, policy formulation, our spokesperson. But we have that group. It's a diverse group in terms of age, ethnicity, gender, and all that. And they have guidelines within which they work. They don't just say, today we are bored, what should we ban? And they rate it from 0 to 5. And they have to be an odd number. And then they look at some classifiable elements. For example, if A has drugs, sex, nudity, and obscenity, maybe B there we have religion, community, and so on. They understand it, they rate in context. So after they watch whatever has been submitted, and then they look at the frequency and the intensity, if it's violence, how many times, how intense, and so on, and then it will guide them. And after that, now they will be able to decide whichever of these age appropriateness they will give.
That's quite some work that takes, there's a lot of work that goes behind the scenes.
Yes.
So basically it's not Ezekiel Mutua who actually restrict. There is a whole group, or there's a whole board that actually is looking at this.
Never even restricted, because the board, it's their duty to advise us, and they don't just advise based on feelings. In fact, before we reach any restriction, because we don't ban, we can only restrict. There are many methods that we'll use. So we look at your content which you've already submitted, and then we realize it's really good, because nobody goes out there to create something that is bad. The objective, we believe, is good. You want to educate, you want to entertain, you want to probably promote your talent and all that. So when we receive, after they have done the examination, and maybe they realize there's a little bit that will make it maybe not past the 18, that this is not just good for public consumption, we will call you. And then we'll advise you what you've created is good, but if only you could change this bit and do
so that it goes within the watershed period, which you said is 5 to 10.
Not necessarily watershed, even if it's adult content. It has to be also adult content that is promoting vices. That I mean is promoting virtues. Let's say, for example, you've created something very good, but you are glorifying radicalization or hate speech or use of drugs. Then no matter how good it is created and how much money and no matter how special the people who sponsored you are, we look at it, is it something of public interest?
But is that not against what people would say creativity and free speech? And why not allow people to watch what they want to watch? And sometimes the effect of banning or restricting something often has had the opposite effect, where a song that KFCB has said, don't watch this song, it ends up being even watched more. How are you able to balance this? Okay,
first of all, it's important to note that when you are doing your work, you should look at, first of all, what's our mandate. Our mandate is to look at it and give it age appropriateness. So if what you've done is explicit, we will not just decide because many other people are going to watch. Let's, for example, say it's pornographic or maybe obscene, or there's a lot of nudity. And we cannot just sit and say, for the sake of the majority, by the way, we'll say, okay, there's the little minority who love that kind of thing. And for lack of a better word, even a few could be perverted. Maybe somebody's even sick. So that is what they enjoy. But you have to protect the majority. And if you look, even let's just give an example. Some of the things we've restricted, you'll hear people saying, yeah, there the halls were full, what and so. But when you start looking for real people who went to watch whatever was exhibited, or the few who watch come out and say that thing is bad. So it's usually also good that some go and watch and then they become our disciples. They also realize and join the campaign for clean content and morality and moral values.
You know, you just said that, and you remembered of this, is a bishop called Fulton who said, what is wrong, even if everybody is doing it, and what is right, even if nobody is doing it. Exactly. So it's fantastic. Like, what you're doing is to actually help communities and parents protect their children. But then you have to fight back a lot of backlash of people who feel that what you're doing is not actually what you are saying you want to do, but other than press and stop people from expressing themselves.
There's freedom of expression, but with limitation. And once your freedom of expression contravenes another law or the public interest, in fact, we receive a lot of public complaints. Some come online, some people come, others we have our complaints mechanism. And when we realize that something is of public interest, let me say, for example, abortion. What is creative about promoting abortion, for example? What is so creative about promoting homosexuality? What is creative about being nude, that you are expressing yourself? You know, so we look at it in the context that, yes, what may be creativity to you could just also be harmful to public, to the public
consumption,
interest. Even for public consumption.
You've brought the topic of abortion, and recently you were also on news. The KFCB was on news together with another movement called Citizen Go, where you managed to have marriage stops banned for carrying out abortions, right? Now, there are two things that I'm interested in here. If they were doing abortion, is not that a legal issue? And secondly, there are those who would argue, you know, we are moving into something I believe as a person that it is wrong, that of viewing abortion as a human right, as a way of a woman expressing herself, controlling her body. I don't know what that means, and men should keep quiet about this. So there are two things there. So are you going to take a legal action towards this? And the people who claim that Ezekiel Mutua, because he's one who is known most, that it's another man telling the society what to do and controlling the women's body and all that. What is your response to this? Are there women on board of KFCB, or it's just
Okay, and to start by making it clear again that we cannot all go and stand out there and start talking on behalf of the organization. That we have our organogram, we have order, we have a CEO who is our spokesperson, and therefore whatever he says is actually the view of the board. For he speaks on behalf of the rest of us. That's what he's also paid. It's part of his job description. So it's not the idea of a man.
Well, one man,
is
yeah.
Him who is doing his duty of bringing it out what the organization has said or has done, and which is within law.
No, I just brought this out
But
because,
secondly,
yeah.
I was going back to Mary Stops. You talked about that we banned the advert because it's about abortion. To begin with, it was not about abortion. We are mandated by CAP 222 as an organization to ensure that all content, film and broadcast content, including commercials, infomercials, are brought for examination and classification. They did not bring it. So we were actually on their case because of not bringing the information for what? Classification. Before it starts airing. Secondly, on the programming code, section 3, also that's unclassified. Then regulation 34, you find that they're doing it even within the watershed period. So within the watershed period, which I've already talked about, you should not bring adult content at that particular time, and they were also contravening that. And even if you want to look at the law in general, because the law is not hidden to anybody, you look at the right to life. That is, I think, the Constitution, section 26.
Yes.
Everybody has a right to life.
From conception.
Life begins at
Conception,
conception.
yeah.
And then nobody should be denied life intentionally. So we work together with the other bodies, but our main issue here is, one, the fact that it has not been classified. Secondly, that the same information, they were actually misleading people. They are carrying campaigns, which when we look at that information is just to mislead young girls that you can just come, and if you don't like, you are not happy that you are pregnant, or if you don't want the child, then we can help you to abort. So we look at that as something that has to do with public interest. It is an issue of public interest. We've been taken to court by the public, by the way. At times when there's an issue of public interest, it's showing on TV. Right now, people are already complaining. They're being fed on trust condoms for dinner.
Yes.
And, their children are now
on holidays and watching.
And they are all watching, and the others who are asking their parents, what is all this about? So whatever we do it within law. We are mandated to do it. And for the ban, for the Mary Stops, it was because of unclassified information during the watershed period. And the sad bit is that even after we wrote to them, they continued. They even intensified. They took it online. They continued with the TV, and they started even physical campaigns. And one may blame KFCB. They defied, but now it's their own. The medical practitioners and dentists board. We were all there as witnesses. We were called, including Anne. You've talked about Anne and Thomas Kereri. They were all there, the public, and even Mary Stops were given an opportunity to defend themselves. But if they did not convince the board, it just goes a long way to say that KFCB had done their job, and they had done it very well. And it was after we had done our job that the public started petitioning. And
okay.
You can see where we are. And right now they have actually been told to do what we had told them. We told them, 1, bring the information for classification. 2, pull it off air until after we give you the authority. And thirdly, we had asked them to give a public apology. They didn't do it. It's now in the public. And whatever has happened could be worse than what KFCB had asked them to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow. I understand. Sometimes when you look at social media, right, you might get the idea that majority of people don't like what you do. Is this the case, or are there a silent majority that actually get and support what you do?
KFCB is working with the religious leaders. We are working with the media. We are working with learning institutions. We are working with very many stakeholders, including the public. And the silence of the majority does not mean that the noise of the minority is right. They're with us. The few who go there are the people who could be probably those who don't come for filming licenses, that those who could be doing or rather carrying out those vices that we are against. But I can tell you, I can assure you,
Yes,
the
good.
majority
Understand
are
what you
with
do.
the KFCB. They understand what we do. They've even requested us to actually lead a national conversation on moral values, which we are already planning and arranging. And I can assure you, without fear of favor, that KFCB has the support of the majority
of the population.
And one thing we like when we see those negativities on social media, it shows that we are doing our work, because if we were not doing, they would not go there. And secondly, when they come with insults, it shows that we've actually reached our target.
You've reached your
audience.
target.
Yeah.
Some people tend to claim that there is no kind of a KFCB in Western countries.
There is KFCB in the Western countries. Last year, we had the IFC, the International Film Convention. We invited people from all over. There was from African countries, from the US, from France, where, in fact, I think we are lenient. And they came. For them, they don't just do film and broadcast. They do even the publications. And they are very serious about it. Recently, we saw in South Africa, people had tried to even take their KFCB to court, but of course they failed. We've seen it working in Nigeria, it works in France. In fact, in the Western countries, they are more serious about it than here. And that's why you'll find that when we have some of these films with themes that I cannot even mention here, the majority of the people who sponsor are from the Western countries, because they can only do it there. They can only do it
here. They cannot do it back there.
do it back at home. And therefore they have to come and sell the ideology quietly here. Otherwise, the classification, rating, examination, which others call censorship, it's been here, it's there, and it has to stay. Surely we are not in a jungle.
So it's that Kenya has KFCB is not a backward trend. It is something that is actually there in those countries that people tend to say, if this was America, this would be nothing. If it was, they don't have such, anyone can say anything. So that what you're saying is not necessarily the case.
Laws, and laws have to be obeyed. There is order, even at home, in your houses, in your offices. Even where we are sitting here, you can see there's that order. We are not in a jungle, and even in the jungle, the animals have some order. So, in fact, I can't remember who said this, but you find that human nature, we are just capable of making mistakes by nature, unless we are guided. We are a regulator. A regulator is not loved, but as I've always said, it's not a love affair. It is just the idea of doing the right thing. We give the age appropriateness for sanity, for protection of children.
Yes.
And the children have to be protected
Absolutely.
one way or another.
Okay.
You know, there are children out there. Some are children of our friends, relatives, what. You'll find people who've been just watching and they're addicted. It's only after you see that you realize, and many people have finally come to us and say, oh, what you people have been saying, what you has been saying, and so on is true.
Okay.
And I believe if I was to rate our work on a scale of 0 to 10,
you'd give it an 11.
Actually, I'm looking at it that way.
All right, we shall take a break. Thank you so much. This is really interesting. And we shall take a break right now, and when we come back, we'll continue with this conversation. We'll read you the questions from the viewers. I'm giving it back to the band at Africa to take us through this break. And so let me remind you that see the social media handles at the bottom of your screen for Y254 TV, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Also, you can go to my own Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at I am Kamau Mwangi. But above all, go on Twitter. We have a hashtag KFCB on Y254 TV and tweet your questions, suggestions, and opinions. So right now, I'm going to give it back to at Africa Kenya to entertain us and to give us a break. Let's go.
Nikawajibu Kenya tuko na disaster, watoto wetu wanazidi kuzikana, na Tomboya ameshika tama, alituacha kama angali kijana. Je, yangekuwa mambo yangekuwa sawa, ndivyo walivyopanga Maulana. Deni mulizoacha bado tunalipa, na tukakopa zingine China, tukajenga reli pia barabara, zilizobaki watu wakasanya. So tujiangalie, tuko pabaya le kuliko jana, sikio la kufa halisikii dawa, tuko kwa Twitter tunajibizana. Tujiangalie bane, tuko pabaya le kuliko jana, tusipojenga upa tutajenga kuta, tutengeze tutungali vijana. So tujiangalie, tuko pabaya leo kuliko jana, sikio la kufa halisikii dawa, tuko kwa Twitter tunajibizana. Tujiangalie bande, tuko pabaya leo kuliko jana, tusipojenga upa tutajenga kuta, tusake zetu tungali vijana. Tujiangalie, tuko pabaya leo kuliko jana, sikio la kufa halisikii dawa, tuko kwa Twitter tunajibizana. Tujiangalie, tuko pabaya leo kuliko jana, tusipojenga upa tutajenga kuta, tusake zetu tungali vijana. Si tujiangalie kuliko jana, sikio la kufa halisikii dawa, tuko kwa Twitter tunajibizana. Tujiangalie, tujiangalie.
Alright, give it up to yes. Welcome back to the POWERTalk show with me, Dominic. Today is ABC policy of guiding morals
in Kenya. And we have been having this conversation, and as I've been telling you, there is a hashtag going on Twitter, KFCB on Y254 TV. Go there and ask your question or for your suggestions and opinions. At the same time, you can go to our Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram at Y254, at mine at I am Kamau Mwangi. Before I give the chance to the audience to ask questions, I want to ask one thing. To the people who say you are more of censoring than helping, in what way could you say that you are helping the film industry?
Okay, first of all, I would like to thank you. Our mandate is regulation. As I've said, I don't want to get back to that. But as we regulate, we also emphasize on clean content, so that we want clean content to drive out the dirty content or the negative content. And therefore, we have provided platforms from time to time to just ensure that the filmmakers have good platforms on which they can create clean content. We give a lot of incentives. We partner with many of them in the film festivals. For this year alone, we've had Riverwood Awards. It was classic. You said there's Machawood. We are also working with them.
Yeah, correct.
Right now, or last week, we had the Pan-African, the lab which was happening in Nakuru. We've had very many others at that time. Concurrently, there was another film festival going on at the museum, the same as The blue economy, you know about the blue
Yeah, that's coming up the conference.
Yes,
Yeah,
we are one of the major
sponsors, partners. Okay,
Yeah,
so you're not just banning.
we are not, we are giving them.
But also,
We have Sinema Mashinani,
Uh-huh.
where we are now in all the counties. We are working with the county governments and other partners, and as we work with them, we are actually giving the young people and even the communities an opportunity to create. The former Nairobi Cinema, we've now taken it. It's the Nairobi Film Center, and there we are actually renovated the place. That is where we will have the side event.
here
for-
at the Moi Avenue.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
For the Blue Economy event, you are free to register. Everybody come there and watch. On 27th of November, we are going to have 2 major screenings, and you could come and see.
It's an open conference?
Yes, it's an open conference, but
Okay.
you have to ensure that you go online to the Blue Economy web, and then you
Register.
register.
Okay.
And we will be there.
Perfect.
Just opening. Actually, you can see the Nairobi Film Center, but I'll use Nairobi Cinema because that is what is known.
Yeah,
It will
true,
be
true.
Open, and
Yeah.
you can see some of the work facilities that we are putting up for young people. We are working with the Film School of Kenya, where we actually sponsoring some of the students. There's the diaspora conference. We are the key sponsors there again. We want to bring people on board from abroad to come and invest in film.
Okay.
You saw we tried to bring some of the film from South Africa to be shot here. You remember?
I have heard
Sometime
about it,
this-
but I didn't know exactly
yeah,
about
you've
that.
not heard because you've not been following.
Yeah, I have not followed it.
Yeah,
So
then
sorry.
last I wanted just also to talk about
Yeah.
the drama festivals. We are again the title sponsor.
Oh, finally, yeah. Okay.
Yes, we are.
All right.
For the next 3 years.
It is KFCB that will be running the drama and music
We are
festival
already doing a lot
nationally.
with them, training,
Okay, okay.
adjudicators, and even the film aspects. We've even already finished the guideline, the book. Of course, not telling them don't. We've also told them
What to do.
do.
Okay. And now I want the audience to ask you questions, because if they don't get a chance to ask you questions, I think it will be tough to meet you again. So what I want you to do right now is to maybe have the mic given to the audience so that you can ask questions from wherever you are. So please just say your name and ask a brief question, 2 people, and then we respond, and then we take 2 more. All right, let's go. Please be a bit more audible. Hold the mic, okay?
Want to anything you feel like after watershed time, because I have noticed that there are other channels that just advertise other things after the watershed time.
Okay,
The
all
second
right.
question, I have another one.
Yeah, briefly.
The second question is that something like of a public demand, something like trust condom, because of the past we have been having the issue of early age pregnancy. Why can't you just allow it to be advertised? Because it's something that of a public, also a public demand.
Okay, thank you very much. And then there is, okay, briefly.
Thank you so much. My name is John Botia. I would love to understand the pressures that you undergo through, because I have understood that there is much that is happening behind, like that of Maristop. Things are already on the ground, they are happening on the public, but it's at your concern that it's coming too late to understand that this thing is running. Why can't you manage it before it gets to the public?
Perfect, okay. Please pass to this gentleman in front here, the 2. So we'll be coming back to you. So keep that mic. The gentleman in the coffee will be coming back to you for the next 2 questions. All right, so let's see if we can handle within the time we have. Yeah.
Exactly. Very good questions indeed. First of all, is asked about what about after the watershed period. You remember I said we do a lot of partnerships. We have a program called the Media Literacy Program. It is a program where we now partner with the people. We go to churches, to mosques, to schools, public rallies, many places to just talk to people, and we talk to parents about the role of the parent, but at the same time the consumption of clean content and the effects of negative consumption, because we know that after the watershed period we operate within the law, and anything that happens after 10 p.m. There are many people who've called and they have told us there's a program, 10 over 10. I don't know many, I don't even want to name them. the Nairobi Diaries, name them, I don't know if they are still there. But what happens is that whatever is happening, if we realize that it contravenes another law, then we actually take it, even if it's after that time, and then we follow the right routine, even if it means taking them to court.
To court, okay.
Yeah, we have done it many times. Or secondly, as I was saying, you find that after the watershed period, you are a parent. The children, it's now your role to try, like now children are at home, they're not in school with their teachers. The teachers have done their bit, so it's the role of the parent to ensure that there's parental guidance and ensuring that your children know what they are watching, why they are watching it, and explain to them clearly.
His question was in the line of, look, kids are getting pregnant.
Yes.
So why not allow it?
The second one.
Oh, you're
That
still on
was
the first.
question
Okay.
was about the watershed period.
Yeah.
I hope I'm clear.
Yes,
that
it
we
is.
operate within the law.
Within the law.
But even outside the law, when you break the law and it's contravening another law, then we take it upon ourselves. About condoms, KFCB has nothing against the use of condoms. They are good and they serve a good purpose, but they should not be brought within the watershed period. We have things like drugs, cigarettes, alcohol, condoms, and even some of the adult talk. It is good for the adults. Even if somebody wanted to watch pornography, even you, Dominic, and you want to do it at your own home, assuming you are, I don't know if you want it, you can go and do it, but don't expose it to our children. There are people who say they are not your children, they are societal children.
Yeah.
So the condoms, they are good, but let them be advertised outside the watershed period.
From 10 to
this
5.
This is again where we talk about education. I don't know what happened to ethics. We used to have social ethics in schools, guiding and counseling. That is the time when children need to be, the teenagers, the youth, to be educated. So it's about education. You don't just give people condoms and you say it is a free for all. Take it and do it. Do what you want to do.
Like Gideri. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's like Gideri said it.
All right.
Then there's the question of pressure,
Yeah.
like Marie stops. I said, and I would like to emphasize that our problem with the Marie stops to begin with, the key is not about the abortion, of course,
is an issue.
An issue because abortion is illegal and it is immoral. But the main thing is about the advert that is misleading, and it has not even been brought for examination and classification. So if that's not enough, when it's being aired during the watershed period, and even when we reached out to them, they did not stop. So it's the advertising itself. So chances are they've been doing it for very many years, but it was under the water. And now when they started advertising, we quickly picked it out and we did what we did. Remember, we banned in September, and the board has done it in November. An implication that at least the red alert came from us. Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. So I don't know, you feel satisfied with the answer? You're good?
Not really.
No, not really. Okay. Can I first of all take 2 more questions? If you have time, we'll come back to emphasize on that. Okay. So the last 2 questions, Tafadhali.
From the IDF and MDF combined. My question is as a KFC, what are some of the challenges you face, and how have you KFCB, and what are the strategies you have employed to tackle them?
Okay. What are the, say that again?
Challenges they face, and how are they strategies to tackle them?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm K. Isaka, MDF.
A bit of a distance between you and the mouth, yeah?
Okay, I'm K. Isaka, the MDF chairman, University Cohort. And first of all, you did not come out clear on the difference between restricting and banning. Number 2, what are you doing about YouTube? Because the shows you're banning on TVs are being published on YouTube without restrictions. Number 3, what are you who is controlling or rather regulating the ill vocal media? Who is controlling the ill vocal media in the mainstream? As in, for example, somebody can produce a very nice video, but the message in the video, for example, songs like Lambalolo are allowed in the media. The videos are nice, but now the message, it's not good. Who is controlling that?
Finally, please, keep your question brief to further. Danton?
Nairobi University, I have this question. Like you are saying that you help parents in guiding and raising up their children, but of late it has been statistic is bringing it out that there are so many school dropouts due to early pregnancy. And then there are also those parents that help their daughters actually to carry out abortion, being that they want their girls to continue with learning. As KFCB, what can you tell these parents, or how can you advise them? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Please.
Okay, thank you very much for very good questions. About the challenges, of course, in everything that you do, especially when you are doing it well, or when you are doing something that people know. It's like a policeman. When you just see a policeman, there are people you've done nothing, but you just start suspecting yourself. So there are people who don't like what we do because they could be the culprits. And we've had very many of those. But the beauty is when we talk to them and we try to let them know why what they are doing is wrong, a good number have been converted. Then we also have social media. You find that many times, yes, information will come, misleading information about our work and what we do on social media. And that's why we have our media literacy and the stakeholders programs as a strategy to ensure that at least we try to educate people. And the youth are part of our main targets, and children, because they are more impressionable. That times even the mainstream media and everybody has said do not cover KFCB. You asked the strategy, we go to social media, we set agenda. After we set the agenda, they all come and they get the agenda from us and they keep. So lastly, there's the issue of ignorance. Many times you'll even hear people talk of Kenya Film and Classification Board. So we try to educate people, encouraging them, those who can read CAP 222, to go and read CAP 222, that is Films and Stage Plays Act, so that they understand better what KFCB does and even the programming code. So we have many challenges. We also have people who just want to sell ideologies. We have people who can just look and see this is red, but they'll insist it's blue. And they at times create even bad things to just see what KFCB will do. But at the end of the day, you find that it's not KFCB that they are hurting. They're actually hurting the children. There are very many other defying. I can give an example of what you've talked about, the advert that we had told them to stop. They did not stop, they defied. So there are many who defy. But we also go to court, like we took the brewers to court, and they are big. It's like the David and Goliath story, and we won on every count. So all that, we get all those challenges. You asked about restricting and banning. We don't ban, we just restrict. We say this one is for adults. Let the adults watch. But when we realize that maybe as adults you are watching that kind of content with the children, then now we are forced to take action. Then I said there are some themes like promotion of drugs or glorification of drugs, radicalization, demeaning maybe women or men or a tribe, then that one we restrict. And that is where even we can use the word ban, because it's not just bad for children, it's bad for everybody.
Okay. All right.
He asked about videos on YouTube. YouTube, you find that the work that we do is for free to air TV and radio. We are mandated film and then free to air TV and radio services in Kenya. And that is not, YouTube is not part of it. But again, when we have explicit things on YouTube, we are in partnership with Facebook. We are in partnership with YouTube. like you saw Same Love, we simply just alert them and then they flag it out. So we do our level best. If somebody, like there was this person who went on Facebook and posted pictures of him doing some bad things with the children and glorifying that, so those kind of people, so we deal with incidents. And you know, YouTube, it is a, if you look at the technology has done it in such a way that there are many things that it's now the role of the guardian or the parent. If you take this kind of phone and give it to your child, and you know when they just go there, they'll find pornography, whatever they'll find, it is at least the permission of the parent. We do not encourage that, but you see, free to air, you are forcing people to consume that. But the other one, you have bought it. So even if you are exposing your children, it is still bad, but you've bought it and gone to expose your children. But we will not just force somebody to bring it once it's for public. Maybe you put it in a matatu, what, it becomes
an issue.
It becomes our issue. And then you asked about parents and children, that many children are dropping out of school because of pregnancies. And we saw even, was it this week, there were 47 children, underage actually, minors, who were found at one of the clinics where they had gone to receive the jab. Two wrongs do not make a right, and that's why we are talking about the education. We do our bit. You said, what are we doing about it? Because they are still doing it. When you preach to people to go to heaven, they'll not necessarily go to heaven here, but you've done your bit, you have preached to them. So we keep on educating them, talking to the parents. Even right now, it is school holidays. We would love to advise the parents to take their role. Know the company that your children are keeping, what your children are watching, what media they are consuming, with who they are consuming it. Just at least have some time to know what the children are doing and where they are. Remember Project X, Ifikie Wazazi, and stuff like that. Parents,
they have to.
Parents have done the children of these days, we call them the X generation. They look at parents like we were not once young. We were even younger than they are, but you know, they just have.
Yes. Now we have to finish up because of time. I think this conversation can go on and on, but our time has run out. Yes. And I just want to thank you. I think please give Madam Nelly Muluka. Yes. You receive a lot of fire and well, keep on going on. As you said, you are required and mandated to do what you do, and we wish you the best of luck. And I want to also thank you, all the viewers. I want to thank my audience. I want to thank At Africa. We're going to close this show for us, who have been very absolutely supportive of us. And thank you for those of you who have been watching the show. I hope you have enjoyed and have gotten to learn more about KFCB. I know they got a tough job. Some of us don't understand exactly what they do, and I hope you have been able at least to understand a bit, if not quite a lot, about what they do. I want to thank you for being part of this show. Thank you once again. Continue to make a difference, and I will see you next Wednesday. Do have a good night, and God bless you. I'm going to give it now to At Africa to close for us, who always do an amazing job. Please, audience, give it up to At Africa. Let's go.
All right, so we can just stand up, all of us, and then we close the show. So just me a team. A wiki, 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 we abandon. A wiki, 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 we abandon. A wiki, 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 we abandon. A wicked, wicked, wicked evil man. One more time. A wicked, wicked, wicked evil man them. A wicked, wicked, wicked evil man them. A wicked, wicked, wicked evil man them. All right, Donna, give us a style. Let's go, let's go. Able to. Oh, okay. One more time. 20. Yeah. Okay. Inaitwa Kanyaga Lami ya Timeless Noel. So ati Kanyaga Lami Kanyagala mi. Haya, wale waodi twende. Hivyo tu. Chunga KFCB sikushike. Odi jabaniwa. All right. One more time. Haya, wale wa kitambo twende helicopter, twende. Helicopter metu. Hapo tu. Tembea helicopter. Tembea. Haya, zunguka nayo. Wewe zunguka nayo. Haya, wale wa kwenda chini. Enda chini twende. Alafu unasimama hii pande nyingine twende. One more time, pande nyingine, let's go. One more time, twende. Haya, tumalizie na style yetu. Wala na jokida. One more time. Mina tupa. Haya, mochia kudabilia kuekelea tuekelea twende go. 1 2 3 4 ha. Let's go. One more. Twende mara nyingine tena. 1. Mara nyingine tena. Haya, alafu tunafanya hivi. Alafu narudi. Twende.